Hello and welcome to Milestone Mindset Live. I'm Nancy Sargent, your host. I'm the CEO of Sargent Marketing, and I'm here with Melanie Cunningham of Melanie Cunningham Law. And we are going to talk about intellectual property today. I think it's one of the most overlooked assets that businesses have. And I've been chatting with Melanie about that during our different networking events and other times we've communicated. And I'm so grateful, Melanie, that you agreed to be a guest. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure. What we're going to do is have a conversation that is ideal for small to mid-sized businesses, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs. That is a sweet spot for both of us, and that is the target audience for this show, Milestone Mindset Live. And we are going to jump right in. Melanie, before we talk about intellectual property, you are a fellow business owner.
Yes.
Actually, we met. I'll give a nod to the New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners. It's been a wonderful experience being a member there.
Yes.
And I would like you to share with our audience, what was your journey to becoming a business owner?
Yeah, thanks for that. When I went to school and I always knew I wanted to go to law school, I didn't have in the back of my mind that I would start my own firm. So after graduating from law school and, was in a traditional role in a litigation firm. It was experience, that kind of junior attorney grind. I didn't love it and had the opportunity to transition into compliance. So working in financial services and working at global financial institutions. And while I was there, while I wasn't practicing, the formal traditional law practice, I was still doing it pro bono. And around the time where we had these market shifts and, remember Lehman Brothers and all these different firms were laying folks off during the last recession. It was when there was this uptick of individuals deciding, hey, I might as well try to start that business that I've had in the back of my mind, or people were starting businesses out of necessity. And so it kind of just started. Friends of friends would reach out and need help kind of understanding, well, what do I do to get started? Do I need a patent for this? Or, well, I have my LLC, or so just kind of dispelling and simplifying is how I started, is really just helping people and walking them through the process and helping them understand what they needed to do to just start this new venture and how to protect whatever it was that they were creating. I, was just meeting a lot of creatives. And that inspired something in me to think about, hey, I think I'd like to be an entrepreneur. The freedom and flexibility that it offers. And so while I was a compliance officer, just slowly but surely, I started, well, what is the thing? And I didn't know that it would be a return to the law until I figured out or started seeing how I could practice law in not the traditional way. And so that's, I kind of started there. It's like, I don't have to be like the white shoe law firm in the fancy office. I can be online based. Instead of charging by the hours, I can do flat fees instead. And so once I started piecing that together and investing in different business coaching or courses and workshops and learning more, I finally decided in 2018 to take the leap.
Congratulations. Welcome to the wild side, I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it's a ride for sure.
Yeah. I like how you sort of just discovered the path in a way. You were open to watching for it, and you saw that you could create a new way of doing business instead of what you thought was traditional, as we went through our paces of
Yep.
schooling and all that. And I actually did have a dream of having my own business growing up. And I didn't really know what kind, and it was a literal recurring dream.
Oh, wow.
And I saw what the office looked like. It was very simple. And my dad, who is 92 today, also I watched him have a small business, a builder business, carpentry business, in addition to being a firefighter. So I watched how he built that business by telling people what he was going to do, doing what he said, doing it beautifully, leaving their homes and or their businesses spotless at the end of the day, even if he was coming back. And the phone always rang, and the phone sat on the desk that he made in the house. So,
Oh,
yeah, it's funny. I didn't really come to it until, like you said, some things kind of came together.
mhm,
A few different clients, which became clients, said, "Can you do this for me?" I had
mhm.
a newborn, and I had a beeper back then and the laptop, and there you go. I started Sergeant Marketing. So, for anyone who's listening today, we're going to move into the intellectual property topic. But if you're dreaming of doing something, whether as an employee or on your own, start doing it on the side
Yep.
or helping or what have you, and it will manifest.
Absolutely. And I think that's, you just start what you said, and you have your phone, you have your beeper, whatever it is that it takes to do your business, and see if you like it, see if it's for you.
Yeah, I don't have a beeper anymore, just saying.
Right.
I do have that, ball and chain iPhone.
Yeah.
So, alrighty, so let's go into our topic of protecting your intellectual property. And before we do that, let's define intellectual property so we all know what we're here to talk about.
Right. So I'll give you the official, and it's the simplest definition from the World Intellectual Property Organization. So IP, and I will be calling it. I
Oh, yeah,
kind of
let's do
agree with
that.
everything. Yeah. IP is, refers to the creations of the mind. So your inventions, your literary or artistic works, your designs, your slogans, your logos. Names and images that you're using in commerce. So it's an asset. It's an asset the same way a business that might own a building or land, or they own the ingredients or different parts and materials for the product that they build and sell. Uh, Intellectual property is the same type. It's a different type of asset, but it's just as important of a business asset.
So, for example, in Sergeant Marketing, I haven't thought about this before. So, what should I be thinking about for my business that I've overlooked?
Yeah, I think, and it's kind of one of the things I think all business owners is to really take inventory of how you do what you do, what you've created, and you could start with just thinking about what do you sell to your clients, or what product or service do you deliver. Um, if you're a consultant, have you created um, a course or some sort of workbook that you offer to your clients that's a part of whatever the service that you provide? That book is part of your intellectual property. So you've taken your experience, your work, your training, and boiled it down into something that you can offer. Take inventory of every part. Do you have um, recipes, formulas, an exclusive client list, and really just think broadly about all the things that you use that you can monetize in your business.
So, for example, after many, many, many years, I created the Milestone Marketing division. And I did that by creating a Milestone Marketing blueprint, which I realized I took all my clients through that process to create a marketing strategy. There are marketing tactics in there that are universal, but the way I build it is unique. So that might be something that I should be protecting, sounds like.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It could be how you're branding it. So the name and also just the substance of what it is. We would have to talk offline just
Yes, but I
in
mean,
terms of like what protection might be needed. But that's exactly right. That's a great example of something that is protection worthy. And underlining kind of what you said is you took something and you delivered it to your client. So it's no longer an idea. So ideas aren't protection worthy, but you had the idea, you've worked with enough clients to kind of know, okay, this is a simple process I can walk clients through and offer this. And yeah, you have intellectual property.
that who knew? All right, we may have covered this one a little bit, but let's just review the assets again, just in brief, so that we are thinking about them.
Yeah, it's I think it very broadly. It could be books, workbooks. It could be courses. Online courses are big now. It's your slogan that you use in your marketing, in your advertising, that you want associated with your brand. It's the brand name. So you might have your business and brand name in these different divisions with unique names that you're using in your marketing. That's something that you would protect. Your logo. It could even be images, or certain colors. You developed, or if part of your brand is to be linked to a very specific color, like the Nike orange or the Christian Louboutin red. Like that's linked to those companies so well, like you just know it intrinsically now. That's also intellectual property. But then you might also have inventions. So maybe you've, invented, like we mentioned the iPhone, perfect example of an invention, or you've improved upon an existing invention. That's all different types of assets that would be covered under intellectual property.
I would love to, and maybe it'll come into this. I'd love to have some good examples of if you've improved upon something, because there are very few brand new ideas today.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's an improvement on something, generally speaking. We see an opportunity, someone is experienced in something. So copyrights, trademarks, patents, um, patent and copyright is quite different, but what are some of those terms that are pretty close but different?
Yeah. So those copyrights, trademarks, patents, and then there's also trade secrets. Those are all types of intellectual property. So with patents, you want to think about inventions. Like you said, it's very hard to come up with a new idea,
Mhm.
but
A brand new idea.
yeah, new brand, new idea, and we're improving, and it really is how your expression of a thing. That's kind of what you're protecting. So, like for patents, for example, many of us have it in our kitchen. The Scrub Daddy, that little, it looks like just a sponge with a smiley face.
Mhm.
And the inventor has utility patents, design patents on this thing that just kind of looks like a hybrid between a sponge and a Brillo pad. But there's some kind of improvement upon those inventions, and he owns patents.
Okay.
Yeah. Trademarks go to brand. So anything that relates to your brand, the brand name, the logo, the slogans, the colors, maybe the shape of the packaging of for your product, are all things that you would protect under with a trademark potentially. And then copyright protects original works of authorship. It's very broad. We know the books, the screenplays, music, sound recordings, choreography. I mean, it's very broad. So it really is the expression of your idea, putting it in some sort of tangible medium. And then trade secrets, that's the one where I think a lot of business owners overlook. Trade secrets give you a competitive advantage in business. So you want to keep it a secret. Your recipes, your formulas, your processes. So you may not be able to, obtain a federal registration or go to any government um, office to seek protection. You just have to keep it a secret. But those things are very valuable, especially as you grow and you have contractors working with you or employees. You're working with different strategic partners. There's something very unique about how you do what you do that you may want to keep secret. Like another example would be like the Google SEO algorithms. However they figure that out. I mean, Lord knows I can't figure it out, but it's a trade secret.
Yes, I'm going to just jump in there. It is a trade secret. And for everyone struggling to figure out the algorithm, they're just going to change it soon after. But here's the main thing with that value. Share what you know. And this pertains here. I mean, no, you don't want to give away your trade secrets, but be authentic. If your clients are asking you questions, then that is the language that they're also searching for in Google or other search engines. So, and we have a lot of software. We do help with keyword research and all that. And that's another thing. It may not be IP protected, but when you're writing content, when you're writing blogs, etc., a lot of my clients say, "What do I have to say that hasn't already been said about my topic?" And I say, if someone has already explained all the how-tos and things like that, and then you write about your experience with it, with your clients, with yourself, with your own business, and then it's your unique voice. Again, that is an intellectual property, let's say, based on maybe what we're talking about today, but that's how you have unique, and that's how you don't have to be a slave to the SEO algorithm. Just wanted to get that in there since you tweaked up passion topic for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's a
So
great reminder. It might have been in conversation with you where I was, because creating content is you have to. I mean, how else? That's an essential part of marketing. But it's like, there are a million lawyers. No shortage of lawyers around. But to your point, it's in your voice, in your unique voice, and you connecting with your audience, and right from there, like how are people searching, and write in your voice, and you'll connect with your people.
right. And also about the voice, this isn't the whole tutorial here, right? So we're having a conversation. When I talk to you in general, and I'm feeling comfortable, you have a calming way about you. And I'm not lawyer bashing, I'm married to one, but that's generally not the feeling you have. And attorneys are there to protect a business. And you have to look at all the things that can go wrong to be able to protect someone. So this show is called Milestone Mindset Live. How do you keep your mindset in this space of, to me, it feels like, offering and giving and calm and comfortable in what you're doing. So how do you take care of your mindset?
I try to probably always stay in the growth mindset zone. Like it's not my first thought to count myself out or to count my clients out. So, and it can be tough, this whole entrepreneurship. We all have our ups and downs, and can I do this? This is crazy. Like, how am I going to make it? So I always start there, and try to be very centered. And I think if I'm just kind of calm by nature. I lead with or think that everything is, and I don't know who coined this. I know it's in some book. Everything's figure outable. I truly believe that.
Marie Florio.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, absolutely. So it's understanding I'm a problem solver, remain calm because I'm working with, you know, Generally, those who I'm working with, this is their baby. This is something very precious to them. I'm working with small and mid-sized, but small and the mid-size might be, oh well, it's a family entity, and you have your whole heart into something, and so I'm serving and delivering the legal services, but it's also a little bit of encouraging and you know just kind of making things manageable for the business owner, or helping them see, okay, this is how we're going to do this. This is how, you'll feel better. You'll have a peace of mind once we take care of these things.
I love that, and it really does come across. You're offering peace of mind.
Yep.
That's terrific. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. How does IP fit into a growth strategy? And you just really explained that very well. And they're putting all their heart into it, and they're very often putting in all of their pennies
Yeah.
as well. And yeah.
It's truly an
So
investment. I think that's what I try to educate my clients or potential clients is to understand intellectual property is an investment, for the life of your business versus, so in in businesses, you have expenses, just costs that you can't avoid. It just kind of is what it is. But as an asset, this is one of those things that it is an investment.
as
So
as
yeah,
is marketing. And I always say that
yep,
I want to help people have marketing be an investment, not an expense.
that's
And
right.
that's where the whole milestone mindset comes in. The milestone marketing blueprint is, let's get the foundation, just like we're building a house. Then let's know what comes next and know what comes next, so that you can invest, get a return, and then continue to invest. I know it's really fun. And we were talking about decorating before we started. It's really fun to go buy all the pretty things. But if the house isn't built right, then we're letting money evaporate. And both you and I, for our clients, don't want them to
Absolutely.
lose any money. We want them to invest properly.
That's right.
So I also know that you have a favorite place to go. And I think this also has something to do with your mindset. So tell me about Paris. What is
Paris, yeah,
Paris to
one
you?
of my favorite cities. So when I was, and this is like a long held dream of going there and like living, there for a month. But I was in college. I had the opportunity to, take a semester abroad in London. And while I was there, me and a few of my roommates, we had a short trip to Paris. But just that, and I'd been a few times and with some other trips, those like multi-city trips, and just really enjoyed Paris. 2 or 3 days here and there. One of my favorites. But that semester abroad, way back when I was in college, a few decades ago.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I thought, yeah, when I'm an adult, when I'm working, I'd love to live abroad for a time. Just, not moving away from America completely, but just, I would love that lifestyle. I could stay somewhere else for months at a time. And so when I started my business, I started just the nature of what I do. I'm not a litigator, transactional attorney, and I can work from anywhere. And that's how I built my business. And it's online based. I do have a place where I can meet clients, but it is online based. And so last year, maybe at the top of the year, after all we've been through and kind of
Yeah.
being locked in the house, and I hadn't, you know, been on any trips or like out of the country since the end of 2019, I thought, okay, this is the year. I'm going to figure it out. I'm seeing and observing people doing this whole Airbnb thing. I said, yep, that's the best way to do it. This is the most economical way. And it came down to, okay, I'm going to go to London or Paris for at least a month. And then, you know, Paris won out, and it was great. I was there last September. I hope to return again in the fall. Maybe I'll do another city, but I'm leaning towards Paris. I just loved it. Just it was so, and I worked, like I took a week off, but The rest of the time I was working there, a few people knew that I was out of the country. It worked, and it was just great for the mind to be in a different space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very energizing, I would say.
And as business owners, it's hard to do that. It's easier for some of us. And I have been working from anywhere for a really long time. My parents lived out west. I went a lot. I go to Tucson a lot. I'm actually leaving next week for a month. So, yes, you can just take the laptop and everything. But for people that don't have that flexibility, I always try to encourage you to figure out if it's 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, um, change your scenery if you can. And a ride away from your current location can do the trick as well.
Yeah.
So it's really important to me to have a successful business and to be healthy.
Yes.
I'm not at the core calm and chill like you are. I work really hard at being that for as much of the day as I can, but my internal clock is revved up
Yeah.
often. And so I've really learned a lot of tools to do that, and also just to be really grateful
Yes.
for everything. And it is actually something that fuels good health and success. So to wrap that all into what we're talking about today, the milestone mindset is a growth mentality. And the mindset part is for us to take care of ourselves and take care of our physical, mental, and spiritual well being. And choose people who you know, like, and trust, like you talked about earlier, Melanie. And that's why we create content that is valuable. And please do think about the intellectual property. I know I'm going to be following up with you, Melanie, and I appreciate your time today. And if anyone has any questions for either of us, our contact information has been scrolling. This conversation will remain live on Melanie's Facebook feed, on my social media, and we'll also be sharing it as a replay. So, Melanie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. This was great.
And we're going to sign off, and I'll see you soon.